Teleported.
Yeah, and then you have that cool moment. AJ climbs the ladder. My favorite, the moment on the roof. Taker throws off and kills Luke Gallows.
Yeah, and he tombstones Carl Anderson.
Tombstones and paralyzes Carl Anderson. And then he chokeslams. And then, first was when they got on the roof and Taker, made the fire appear.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that happens, he takes AJ, chokeslams him off the roof, probably punctures his lung. So at this point, Taker's killed and paralyzed a man and thrown another man off the roof.
Uh-huh.
And then we have that moment where he takes him to the grave. Says, I'm not going to bury you, that. Kicks him in the grave.
That's a quote of 2020. Please don't bury me.
Please don't bury me. That was funny.
Yeah.
For AJ.
Yeah.
So then Taker big boots him, buries him. You see AJ's hand. So Taker has buried a man alive and killed him, thrown a man off a roof and killed him, and permanently paralyzed a man with a tombstone on the roof. No criminal charges will be pressed because this is pro wrestling.
Gotta love it.
And then Taker gets on his bike after literally burying AJ alive, not just burying the character, burying him alive. Gets on his bike, lifts his arm up at the fire, and the Undertaker symbol appear, and he rides off to Metallica. What he rode in on, and I have to say, this is the best thing Taker's done in a long time.
This was a masterpiece. This was marvelous. I loved every single second of it. I had no idea what this was going to entail. I was shocked when I heard that this was going to be basically headlining night one. So I'm I had to wait and see what this had in store, because when it started in the beginning and they rolled in with the hearse and whatnot, I'm they're not going to bring him out of the casket. Then I saw the AJ hop out of there. I'm okay, that's good, continue to throw jabs at him and whatnot. Then I heard the motorcycle in the background. I'm wait a minute here. So then I saw Big Evil riding on the motorcycle all the way up there. I'm now this is getting kind of cool. And then they just started fighting, and I'm this is the best way they could have done it, because now this is making, once again, the most of a bad situation. But I actually think this was better than how they would have done it had it been in the usual setting.
Let's face it. If I said it about Goldberg, even though I love Taker, I have to say it about him. Taker's my second favorite wrestler ever behind Jeff Hardy. But Taker just can't do what he used to do.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And I think he knows that. He knows that.
It sucks. It really does. But if we do Boneyard matches with Taker, he can go another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Because these are great. Maybe we'll get more out of them at some point. I don't know if we'll ever do this again, but this was great. I have no idea what's going to happen to the OC since half the members are dead.
Uh-huh.
And that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But again, great match. I felt like it really delivered.
Oh, for sure.
And we'll see where it goes from here. It's something that I don't really know what the OC is going to do.
I have no idea either.
Is Taker going to go back to the full dead man, or is he just going to stay as Big Evil?
I'd stay as Big Evil for now, because one of the other things I always thought is, and this is no fault of his own, it just, it comes with age. I think over time it's just harder to pull off that dead man character like he used to, so I think it's actually more fitting if he does this. Now, when he does finally get to that stage where he's going to have the final match, when that day does happen, where it's going to be done and over with, I think then he has to go out as the dead man. I agree with that. That has to be the final ending, I think, is the dead man, because if he's the Big Evil or the American Badass, whatever, I don't think that's what they want the final image of Undertaker to be. But for this case, I thought it worked great.
So did I.
And another funny thing I wanted to point out here is someone would actually take to Wikipedia following this, and they'd take AJ Styles' Wikipedia page, and they would post that he died April 4th, 2020, and his cause of death was being buried by The Undertaker in a Boneyard match.
Okay. So that was night one.
Yeah, so as far as the night one goes, I go ahead and give it I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it 7.5.
Yeah, and that may be high for some, but I really I thought the Boneyard matches really helped do it for me. I thought the ladder match was pretty good. And I just thought that, what was the other thing? No, I thought Becky and Shayna was still decent, and I thought the opener was decent. So there's some things on here that where I thought were solid, but and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins I thought was actually pretty good overall. So yeah, that was night one. Now on to night two. We'd not gonna really talk about the kickoff show as much. It's basically the same gimmicks. They're just going through doing what they got to do. So then we'd have the kickoff match with Liv Morgan and Natalya. Even then, it's like I get this like a kickoff show, and it's like, you know, and it's not. In this case, it's still not, you know, like the usual settings or whatnot. But I really felt that they should have put like the Raw tag team titles on the kickoff show. I thought that would have been a good way of going.
I guess this kickoff show match, do we even need to talk about it?
We're just gonna say the winner, give our rating, move on. Liv Morgan would win, you know, as we'd expect, you know. I think in this case, especially,
Liv can't. I mean, because Liv on the whole new character thing, it's been terrible. She needed to win. We'll just, you know, we don't really need to talk about.
Yeah,
this.
Natalya basically puts everybody over.
Yeah.
2 stars from me, 1.5 stars from you. Main show. We'd open with Stephanie McMahon again for the second night, but I didn't get her exact.
She changed wardrobes from the thing she did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, because I'm assuming she just did that like probably just right after that, you know. Didn't get her exact words this time, but from what I caught, it was pretty much, you know, the same deal as the night before. Just twisted it just a little bit, twist the words a little bit. Then we'd have the video package, same thing as the first night. Then we'd open with Gronk again, wearing the exact same outfit as the night before. So in kayfabe, he doesn't change his clothes.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Then we'd have the opening contest. Now, this was actually far more surprising than night one.
This was, in my opinion, the match of both shows. This was the match of Mania.
We'd have the NXT Women's Championship open the show. We'd have Rhea Ripley defending against Charlotte Flair, the 2020 Royal Rumble winner.
So here's what you need to ask yourself, and this is to everyone listening to this. Does it make sense for Charlotte to go over? If the answer is yes, she's going over. If it does not make sense for Charlotte Flair to go over, she's still going over, and you're going to have to like it.
There's no way out of that.
No, but like I said, great match. I really like the angle of Charlotte working the leg the whole match, trying to get the figure 8, trying to get it, and Rhea kept fighting her off and fighting her off.
Trying to use psychology, yeah.
Told the story with that, which I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I really disagree. Because I think, does this mean Rhea's moving up?
See, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure everyone who's gonna listen to this has already, like, you know, watched both nights of Mania, but there was an appearance later in the show from another person from NXT, so would they really call both of them up at the same time? That's the only thing.
That would kill the division, but they are getting Charlotte, I guess, so I feel bad for all those girls in NXT because you're not getting that belt anytime soon.
And they're doing that as a ratings move and whatnot, but will that really make that big a difference to where they'll beat AEW? I don't really think so, but, you know.
We'll see what happens, but
the Charlotte Flair fans will probably tune in and watch and whatnot, but that's about it. But how many like people on earth is like that gonna, like, you know, increase
also,
the viewership
but again,
for them?
what I do is usually I record AEW and tape NXT. Like, it's not or depending on if someone big is going to be on or something like that, or there's going to be a big match, I'll do the other way. I'm not a diehard AEW or diehard WWE. I'll just do, if there's going to be a big match on NXT, I'll watch NXT. Like, you know, it's...
Yeah, no, I enjoy Dynamite, and I love AEW, but, you know, I love pro wrestling, so, you know, if that's on, or if Impact's, you know, got a good show, NWA, I'll watch anything. As long as there's wrestling in my life, I'm happy, basically.
Yeah.
So, Charlotte Flair would win. She'd win the NXT title, women's title. 11-time champion. Would win it once again. And 20 minutes, 30 seconds, so they gave them a ton of time, which I did love that.
I'm happy with, because they're both great wrestlers.
And they would not have gotten that time had they been on, like, the main show.
Don't know how I feel about Rhea tapping.
I did not like that either, because I have a certain thing. I think she'll still be a star, and I still think the crowd will love her, and, you know, she'll still be like, she's a great talent. She's only like 20. She's only like 23. So she's got like a whole career ahead of her. So it won't kill her, but I still disagree with the decision, because I think certain people, like certain baby faces, just shouldn't tap. But I guess they kind of had to do that, because it's either she was going to lock in the figure 8 and win and make her tap, or they were just going to avoid it and she'd find her way around it and just win the match. Because there's no way when you work like a body part like that in a match and they do that, you know, they
lock in the hold specifically for that body part.
There's no way there's like no tap, or if you do,
especially when the hold they lock in is their finisher. Like, that's...
Yeah, so they worked up to that. But all in all, I still thought it was a great match. Went ahead and gave it 4 stars. Actually, both of us did. Incorrect winner, I guess, but it still made out for a great. It still made out for a great match. I'm not going to take away from it because, I'm not gonna take away from it because there was a lot of people on Twitter I saw who were like upset with the decision. But see, I put somewhere in my mind that I thought there was a chance that could happen. So it's like I didn't want that result, but I didn't get overly disappointed, even though I disagree with it. It is what it is. So we'll just see where it goes.
Talk about Charlotte for a second. For the people, and I love Charlotte. She deserves to be where she is.
I do too.
For the people that complained about Roman Reigns for so many years, Charlotte's push is way bigger than Roman Reigns.
Oh, for sure. Because
she doesn't lose a big match.
She doesn't lose any big matches. And last year at Mania, they had the triple threat, with Ronda, her, and Becky main event, and it deserved to be. And I'm still happy to this day that they gave them to it because that was the main attraction, and that's what people mostly wanted to see. But before that, what I was going to add is right before that match, they ended up putting the 2 belts in there. And she just would randomly just beat Asuka all of a sudden, and so they just could have the 2 belts in there. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I thought the 1-on-1 match would have worked, but then they added the triple threat. I'm like, okay, if that's what they want to do, then whatever.
They get Becky 2 belts. That was the.
Oh yeah, no, that was the deal there too. But I didn't. But then at that point, I wasn't completely on with that because, having her have the 2 belts or whatever, it's it's cool in the moment, but you knew it had no longevity. But then the issue I had with that, though, is she just popped up in, another title match, and then, she just, won that, out of nowhere. So it's whenever she's, in a title match, I just get the feeling that she's just going to win. And a lot of her reigns are really not that long. A lot of them are just throwaways.
Yeah.
With the exception of, a few of them.
She's, 5 titles away from her father. Oh, okay. Rick really won 25 titles.
At least. Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
But those are the only ones that WWE cares to acknowledge.
Yeah. But it's just, I feel like Charlotte needs to go, after this reign, she needs to go a long time without a belt.
Yeah. But I see this one. This one's going to have some length, too.
She doesn't need a belt.
No, that's what I'm saying. She could quite possibly go down as the greatest female pro wrestler ever, and she's already up there right now. So it's I think she's at the stage where she could just. That's why I didn't think she just needed it, because I just thought that Ripley was the upcoming star. I guess realistically they could do a rematch or whatever. They'll have a crowd and whatnot. She does put her over, and then Ripley stays in NXT, has the belt, whatnot. They could still do that and it'll work or whatever, but I don't know. Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler, I think, were both kind of done in a bit from not having the being in front of the live audience. Not in terms of the match.
Rhea had some badass gear too.
Oh yeah, I love that attire too. Yeah, so I thought that that was a good thing to point out.
May have been Vegeta inspired. I'm not sure. He's a character from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know.
I think it was. I think it was.
I'm not sure though.
But yeah, so that's that. It was still a great match. I still enjoyed it, regardless. But next we'd have a singles match, Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. This is what I was talking about when they could kind of just put on the kickoff show. Not bad. Decent, I guess. No,
right guy won.
Passable. It had a dumb finish, but at least the babyface wasn't the one who was on the end of the dumb, falling for the stupid heel tricks or whatnot for once. So Aleister Black would win 7 minutes, 20 seconds. That's about all I can say about it. But going into it, I didn't really care for this match. I mean, I guess they dub it as a first time ever match, which it was. But it's I just don't think Black and Lashley was that much of a matchup in terms of I don't think they really mesh in terms of their styles, because Lashley's kind of a power guy, so he doesn't really, he's not meant to sell, and Black kind of works best when you have those guys who could sell for him and whatnot. So I thought that wouldn't really work as much. But they went out there, they did what they had to do. Acceptable. It was okay. It was far from offensive.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to add to that. I agree with everything you said.
2.5 from both of us. Then there would be an ad for Money in the Bank, which I guess is slated to be for May 10th. Kind of confused by that.
They said later in the show that it's happening. Vince does not give a shit about Corona.